Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Michaela, and I'm going to show you today how to do Diana color block bottoms. This is a new pattern. I'm so excited to be doing it, and I'm actually showing you all the pieces. And here I'm having my front piece. What I'm showing it to you, it will be my front piece, as it's a very high sorry, my cat also wants to say hello. As it's a very high on the hip, in a V shape, in a U shape design, these bottoms will have only thong coverage, yes. And what I've prepared here, this is my front piece, this is my my lycra back piece, right? Since we are working, well, since I'm working with white collar, I'm using lycra for both lining and main fabric. Yes, I prefer it this way, so it's doesn't transparent when wet. And this is my lining part of the front piece. So I'll be showing you what I'm actually going to do. We'll be doing a color block bands as well on the exterior. If you don't have cover stitch for it, you can always do it in another way of folding and a zigzag, which I will be explaining you in the written instructions, since today I will be using my cover stitch. So first thing I'm going to place the sides on top of my center fabric, and I'm going to pin. And first I'm going to do a basting stitch, so everything is being held in place. What is a basting stitch? Is practically a straight stitch with the highest stitch length, and afterwards I'm going to do like small cuts in this stitch, and next I will be serging it. Once I've serged it, since I don't want my stitch, my seam to be seen or to be moving inside, I will be cover stitching. So I'm going to show you anyways that place, that step. I'm going to cover stitch it, and once I've cover stitched, I've got my main front piece of the bottoms constructed, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the construction of my the whole bottoms. All right, so I'm going to show you now how I'm doing the small basting stitch. I always start from the bottom because I clearly need the fabric to be perfectly aligned. I haven't I haven't pinned it, but it's true, since I'm sewing so much, sometimes I don't feel the need to pin. So I'm in this way faster. Okay, so this as you can see has been the basting stitch, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing next. I'm practically just making small cuts into it to allow my fabric to stretch, of course, very important. So as you're seeing, I'm creating these little cuts. If you don't have a serger, you can always next step, you can use a zigzag stitch for the next stitch. You do not need to add elastic to this, since it's just the construction merging the two colors together. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my serger, and I'm going to serge it sorry. Yes, and I like to serge with my white fabric starting. Okay, so I've serged my front piece. This is my front piece. Yes, it's looking so beautiful. So what I was explaining you before, now I'm going to do off camera. I'm going to go to my cover stitch, and very important, I'm folding my fabric towards the white side. Yes, towards the white side. Why? Because you will be cover stitching towards the white side with white fabric, or the color fabric you will be choosing. Yes, the same on this side. Yes, you turn it like that and you will cover stitch it, so this seam is not moving or rolling and showing, yeah, showing on the other side. Once you've done this, well, if you don't have a cover stitch, you can use a zigzag stitch. I recommend you not to, or you can use a twin needle on your sewing machine. I recommend you not to use just a normal straight stitch, because you want your fabric to be able to stretch. Yes, as this is lycra, you want your fabric to stretch. Okay, once I've cover stitched, I come back and I show you the next steps. Okay, so I've got here my front piece cover stitched and it's looking so beautiful already. And the next step I'm going to do is placing my lycra back piece on top of the lycra, lycra front piece. And we are just going to do a straight stitch over the crotch area, and we're going to repeat this for our lining lining parts. Yeah, so we are just going to do one straight stitch over the crotch area. Okay, and now I have the two parts, the lining piece and the lycra piece, with a little straight stitch over. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place, and I will be making sure that, so this is right side with the right side facing together, and I'm going to place this on top of my lycra fabric with the back piece, let's say, in the middle, and I'm going to serge it just this bit, and I'm going to explain you afterwards why and what are the next steps, of course. Okay, here is everything serged. You've serged over 4 layers, or you stitched over 4 layers, and now we're going to separate. Yes, so our seam is hidden inside, so it's not visual. Yes, next, so we haven't connected the sides. Why? Because when we are cover stitching, going in a full circle, it's a very difficult job if you don't have like a special cutter in your sewing machine. So I'm going to show you how I do it. If there is any other way, or if you prefer any other way, you're up for it. I do this way and it works really good for me. But first, before using the cover stitch, I'm going to pin, and then I'm going to do a straight stitch over these the lining fabric and the lycra fabric, kind of like to hold the fabrics together when I'm going to have to cover stitch. Because yeah, you see it's very slippery, so it's you have to be very attentive that your fabrics are not coming out. So basting stitch to fix everything together. Yes, and once you've done the basting stitch, remember to make little cuts, and I will be showing you how I'm cover stitching with the binding. If you don't have a binding foot or a binding attachment, you can do it in a different way, which I will explain you with some photos. I've done it in the past in the writing instructions. So I'm going to show you how I'm cover stitching. I've prepared already my strap, and I've actually did already one side. I've added transparent elastic into it. This is not obligatory, but I highly recommended it. If you see any like little loose threads coming from your basting stitch, you can just trim them away. So what I'm doing, inserting just like that, going slow, and I'm letting my fabric feed smoothly. I'm preparing it just like this. So I'm practically pulling slightly the elastic to get like to get my binding straight. As you can see, it's coming out really straight. Here I didn't do it because my elastic wouldn't go in. For the binding, it's very important that you're all the time aware of, well, if you have a roller to put your binding strap, you can do. I don't, so I'm actually just going slow, checking it once in a while that it's fitting correctly, that it's not getting stuck somewhere. And in the same time, I'm watching that my fabric is feeding nice through it. You see, I'm looking that it's not twisting. The same, that it's my elastic not twisting. So I let it just go like that. And here I've unified my fabric because I don't want to like lose a lot of time all the time like sliding the fabric into it. So I'm gonna let it go a little bit more. I'm gonna look how beautiful it's turning. I'm so happy. And so I'm gonna let it go a little bit more through it until I'm getting to this end, and then I start with the other side. Okay, now I'm going to do my last bit. So the same, I'm sliding it through it, and I make sure that I don't have any loose stitches because afterwards it's going to be not so easy to remove it. I'm going to slide it just like that, making sure that my elastic is fitting as well. Once it's through, I'm guiding it a little bit with my hand. And I realized that my union of my, it's so shame because it's just coming in between. I've just haven't done it just perfect. Like, I'm so sorry, I wanted to show you a perfect tester, but you see it's not really visual. Although, and I don't recommend you should make sure that you're always cutting your binding strap long enough. It's just a little bit, so it's not preoccupying me. So yes, as you can see, I've got here my binding sides, and the next step I'm going to well, obviously trim these bits because they're so long. Here in the back I haven't done the most perfect binding because my elastic wouldn't go in, and I was too preoccupied on checking whether my elastic was going in, and I gotten out a little bit out of the track, let's just say like that. So what we are going to do, I'm going to do a straight stitch over, and for a reason I haven't cut this completely small. I'm going to do a straight stitch over. I'm going to allow about 1 centimeter away from the edge, and then I'm going to turn it towards one side. I'm going to show you how I do it. I will be doing it with my industrial sew machine. If you don't have one, you can do it with your normal sew machine. It's not a problem, but you will have to probably do first a hand stitch, so it's not they have to be perfectly aligned. Yeah, your bindings parts, they have to be perfectly aligned. So once I've changed my thread and my sew machine, I will be showing you how I will be doing it. So for time saving purposes, and since this is just a tester for me, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just stitch it with white, but I would recommend you to have on one side white, and perhaps on the other side the other fabric color. I'm matching right sides together of my fabric. Like I told you, since my sew machine is industrial, I do not need to do the hand stitch, but I'm very careful how I place the foot over the two fabrics, that I make sure that it starts right in the middle, and I go very slow, and then immediately I go and I do a back stitch and then it didn't undo the I didn't do a knot when I've changed my thread. So it just like ripped. Give me a second. Okay. Now I have it going. So like I've been showing you, I did a straight stitch. I recommend you perhaps to go 2-3 times over this one stitch. So since I haven't been doing it so perfect, I'm going to go one more time over it, the same way as I did before. Yeah, here it is. Next step would be folding, so unfolding, yes, and you will be doing a straight stitch on each side, a tiny one, so you can see that here is my right side. So you'll be doing it like this. If you can, do it very close to the edge. You can use another color of thread. This is really up to you. Yeah. And I just wanted to show you how beautiful it will look on the other side. I'm going to do the other side with you, and then I'm going to do the last bit alone. Okay, here it is. All right, I'm trimming it, and I'm trimming as well my threads. But now I can safely trim all the rest of the fabric. And look at this, how beautiful looks your union. You can still trim to get a perfect look, but I just wanted to show you, this is your union. Looks really good. If this is your first time doing it, I recommend that you should do a trial, yeah, on another fabric, so you're not doing it on your proper piece, which you actually will need. Now I will be doing the same on the other side, so I match the right sides together, and I will be doing exactly the same steps to finish it. Here is my final result, and I'm so pleased how it turned. It looks so beautiful, and yes, I also love the color combinations. As you can see, is a deep U bottoms, and because of this, it was absolutely necessary to make the bottoms in a thong coverage. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and happy sewing.